Well, I said last week that we would have 2 weeks of guest speakers, giving me a bit of a break in preaching over this Christmas and New Year's season. And I also said that both of them, I was really privileged and glad to introduce that both of them have been mentors in my life. Today, we get to hear from Pastor Brian Buhler. He was a mentor for me during the Arrow program and afterwards, specifically around the task of preaching. I have learned preaching from, I listen to other pastors preach and I read about it. And so there's lots of sources in terms of my learning. But the two biggest ones in my life, both of whom are incredible preachers and whom I hope to one day preach as well as either of these men, are Darrell Johnson and Brian Buhler. And Brian Buhler is with us this morning. So I'm going to metaphorically pass it over to him. Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll say too, last week I talked about how it was that Dr. Steve Brown was preaching for us. Brian similarly looked at the churches and pastors in the Alliance and basically said, I know there's a ton of people who are really busy right now. I'm going to preach and post a few sermons that if you need a Sunday off, take one of these and use them. So this one doesn't have a personal introduction. It wasn't recorded just for us. It was recorded for any pastors who need a break within the Alliance during this season. And you'll see that as he begins the sermon. He says, I think something like, I wish I knew who I was preaching to this morning, which I think we all feel like sometimes as we sit in front of these computers. Anyway, over to him.